Alright, y'all. So today we got another video by the Flight Mike. Title is "It Just Got So Much Worse." Now, if you guys been keeping up with the NBA, you guys know about the Chauncey Billups and the Terry Rozier situation. How they got caught in a gambling scandal. How there was illegal poker scheme they were running, and people got arrested for it. Chauncey Billups has been arrested. Terry Rozier's been arrested, and it's just been a terrible situation right now, man. The NBA has a gambling problem, and it's only now getting exposed to the light. But without further ado, let's begin the video. Let's watch. Let's see what TheFlightMike is talking about. What new information he has for us. Let's see.
Chauncey Billups has pleaded not guilty, is denying the accusations, but they say he was a knowing component of this doctored poker game of the mob.
Chauncey Billups' role here becomes important if he knew of the scheme as that face card in all of this, as that person who brought the victims in, as the government alleged.
As of Monday, someone just tipped the very first domino in the NBA gambling scandal, and what I'm about to tell you is going to change everything about this case. Because while Chauncey Billups was walking into a Brooklyn federal courtroom earlier on Monday morning to enter his plea, something else was happening behind closed doors. Prosecutors announced that multiple defendants are already in plea negotiations. People are talking, people are ready to flip. And if the wrong person decides to cooperate with the feds, every single person involved in this scandal should be very nervous. But the craziest part is the FBI just connected this NBA gambling ring to a massive college basketball point shaving operation. The same people.
So they got college basketball part of this shit too? Nigga. This shit was a planned out, like, dang, bro. Like, this shit crazy. And like I said, to be honest, bro, I'm one of those people who advocate for gambling to be like, but obviously they're not going to ban gambling, but I think for the best for everybody, I think this is just like, honestly, like, get rid of it, bro. Like, I know it makes them so much money, they're not even going to think about doing it, but at least, if they're not going to get rid of it, at least try to make it, like, put more restrictions on it. Like, you can't bet somebody's under, you know, you can't bet somebody's under so many times, you know, because they have things in place where they can, like, restrict the amount of times you can bet if you put some suspicious bets in, you know, and it actually notifies the NBA so that they know, or whatever sports you bet on, it notifies them letting know, hey, some suspicious activity has been going on during this game or whatever, and they, you know, so, but yeah.
Same betting accounts, the same syndicate. We're not talking about Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups anymore. We're talking about a nationwide criminal enterprise that corrupted basketball at every level. And the American public is just starting to figure all of this out. A brand new poll just dropped showing that 1/3 of Americans now believe NBA players and coaches are regularly involved in illegal betting. The trust is gone. The damage is done. And ladies and gentlemen, we're just getting started. Real quick before we get to the content, we have been running jersey giveaways on this YouTube channel. For a subscriber that turns on their notification upon getting his brand new jersey, I think this just added such a cool element. Chance to win a jersey. We announce winners each and every week. You just have to subscribe, turn on my notifications, and we're also running the same exact giveaway on Instagram. You just have to follow my Instagram at the. That out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Chauncey Billups, a Hall of Famer, a 5-time All-Star, the 2004 NBA Finals MVP, the current head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, walked into the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York on Monday morning alongside 30 other defendants. 30. That's not just a courtroom appearance, that's a roll call for a crime family. And speaking of crime families, that's literally what this is. The courtroom was packed with alleged members of the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese families. We're talking about the actual mafia sitting in the same room as an NBA Hall of Famer. When the judge asked for Chauncey's plea, his attorney stood up and said 2 words: not guilty. Billups was released on—
Of course he's gonna defend him because, you know, he's getting paid, but nigga, let's be honest. But he's guilty, my nigga. Chauncey Billups definitely had this shit planned, bro. Whoever he called up, nigga, there was literally illegally, like, they were scamming people out of money, bro, during those poker games they used to play in those underground gambling, whatever they call them shits, bro. Nigga, this nigga guilty, bro.
on a
Like,
$5 million bond secured by his home in Colorado. His wife Piper and his daughter Sydney were there in the courtroom to sign the bond documents. Think about that for a second. His daughter had to watch her father, a NBA legend, stand in federal court accused of helping the mafia cheat people out of millions of dollars. The judge set some very strict conditions. Billups had to surrender his passport. He's restricted to traveling only within the continental United States. He has to report any financial transactions over $25,000. And here's the kicker.
Bro, imagine that you're not even allowed to leave the country. Like, this say, nigga, you're not leaving, bro. Bro, your life is done, man. Like, honestly, bro. Nigga, it's over, man.
The judge set a trial date for September of 2026. That's 10 months from now. Damn. 10 months of Chauncey Billups sitting at home, suspended from the NBA, waiting to find out if he's going to prison. But here's where things get really interesting, and I really need you to pay attention to this next part, because this detail changes everything. During the hearing, prosecutors made an announcement that sent shockwaves through the entire case. They told Judge Ramon Reyes that with respect to at least some defendants, plea negotiations have begun. Now, prosecutors didn't say which defendants are negotiating. They didn't give names, but court documents filed just 3 days ago reveal that
I heard that they're that he's requesting a bail, bro. Like, honestly, if they approve the bail, like, this nigga gonna be out for, like, bro, this nigga got millions of dollars, bro. He gonna get people to bail him out, bro.
It's fairly
the guy, poker or whatever, mafia to bail him out, my nigga.
That ran the entire betting syndicate is engaged in plea negotiations that are expected to result in a disposition of this case without trial. So let me translate that for you. Mars Fairley is about to make a deal, and in that deal, he's going to testify and pretty much spill the beans on the entire case. He's not just going to plead guilty and go to prison. He's going to cooperate, testify, and tell the feds everything he knows about everyone involved. And guys,
so he's basically gonna be a snitch. He's gonna be like a 6ix9ine or a young thugger.
Fairley knows everything. This is the guy who ran Vizino Locks, the tout service that was placing $100,000 bets based on insider information. This is the guy who allegedly paid Damon Jones for tips about LeBron James. This is the guy who received information about Terry Rozier leaving games early. If Fairley decides to cooperate fully with federal prosecutors, every single person who ever gave him information, took his money, or helped him place bets is in serious trouble. Now, here's something interesting. Fairley's attorney told NBC News that discussions were not underway and declined to comment further. But the court documents say otherwise, so either his lawyer is trying to downplay things publicly, or there's some legal maneuvering happening behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Terry Rozier's attorney, Jim Trusty, is taking the opposite approach. He released a statement saying that during Rozier's December 8th arraignment, they plan on submitting a plea of not guilty and that they have no reason to engage in plea discussions. So we've got Marv's Fairley ready to flip, and Rozier saying he's going to fight this all the way. That's a collision course right there, because if Fairley cooperates and provides testimony against Rozier, this case goes from he said, she said to your co-conspirator is literally testifying against you in court. And it gets even messier when you look at what's happening with Damon Jones. Remember Damon Jones, LeBron James's former teammate, the guy who was allegedly selling insider information about LeBron's injury?
Bro, imagine your own friend is doing this shit behind your back, bro. It's telling other, like selling, like, basically selling information, inside information about you not playing or you were injured or whatever to help other people win or pocket money through gambling. Nigga, bro, I know LeBron felt like betrayed, bro. He felt the betrayal, man. Like, nigga, me, if I found that out, I would have cut that nigga off. I'd be like, nah, bro, you're done. I ain't about to be a part of your little gambling scam you got going on, nigga. I'm good. That's just me, though.
The gamblers for $25,000 a pop. Well, here's something that came out in court that absolutely blew my mind. Damon Jones couldn't afford to hire his own attorney. Think about that for a second. This is the guy who played
nigga, you had all that money from the NBA and make it off them legal, but how the hell you don't got money to hire an attorney? Nigga, come on, bro. This nigga trying to get some, bro. No, hell no. He trying to get that little special. No, nigga, buddy. You got money, nigga. You been in NBA. Well, I'm telling money, you spend it all on some dumb shit. I wouldn't be surprised. Most NBA players do that shit. But bro, nigga, the fuck you mean you don't got money to hire an attorney? Nah, nigga.
In the NBA, he made millions of dollars over his career. And when he got arrested on federal charges, he couldn't come up with the money for a lawyer. The court had to assign him a public defender. And it gets worse. Jones was released on a $200,000 bond, but he didn't post it himself. His parents had to put up their home in Texas as collateral.
Wow, nigga, you had your parents help, bro. Nigga, you made millions of dollars and you had your parents help you get bail. Like, you should be embarrassed, my nigga. No. Yeah, your parents had to put up their house just for you to get out. Nigga. Shit is sad, bro.
To do that. A grown man who played professional basketball for over a decade had to have his mom and dad bail him out of federal custody. That tells you everything you need to know about how Jones ended up in this situation in the first place. He was broke, and when the opportunity came to make some quick cash by selling information about his famous friends, he took it. During his hearing, Assistant U.S. Attorney Clay Plummer requested that the judge order Jones not to gamble, including online games. And here's the exact quote from the prosecutor. He has a very serious gambling problem. So now we're starting to understand the full picture. Jones wasn't just corrupt, he was an addict. He had a gambling problem so severe that a
But this is why I tell y'all, bro, gambling is not good, bro. Like, you can really get addicted to that shit. You can literally either come up big or really lose it all, bro. And this is a prime example of somebody who lost it all by gambling too much, bro. I tell y'all, man, if you're gonna gamble, bro, just gamble responsibly and just be careful with it, bro. Like, don't make that be your whole life, bro. Because if you let that shit be your whole life, it's only a matter of time for you really gonna see like the side effects of making it, making it all your life, bro. Just be careful, man.
Federal prosecutor felt the need to mention it in open court. And remember in our last video when we talked about Terry Rozier's $8 million tax debt? It's the same pattern. These aren't guys who got greedy while they were rich. These are guys who got desperate because they were drowning in debt. But here's where the Damon Jones story gets really interesting. Remember when he allegedly sold information that Anthony Davis would sit out a game against the Thunder? Fairley paid Jones $25,000 for that tip and then placed a $100,000 bet against the Lakers. There was just one problem though. Anthony Davis didn't sit out. He played. And not only did he play, he dropped 27 points and led the Lakers to a victory. Fairley lost everything. $100,000 gone. And according to court
documents, hey, that's his fault. It's dumbass. That's his fault, bro. I don't feel bad for the nigga. That shit. That's your fault, bro.
After the game, Fairley demanded that Jones pay him back. We don't know if Jones ever paid that money back, but imagine being in that situation. You sell insider information to a gambling syndicate. The information turns out to be wrong, and now you owe these people $100,000. What do? You keep selling information. You keep digging yourself deeper into the hole until eventually the FBI shows up at your door. Jones has pleaded not guilty to all charges, but if Fairley flips and testifies about every transaction, every text message, every payment, then Damon Jones is in some serious trouble. Now, this is where the story gets even deeper because while everyone's been focused on the NBA, the FBI quietly revealed that this gambling syndicate wasn't just corrupting professional basketball, they were corrupting college basketball too. Damn. The same people, the same betting accounts, the same operation. When the FBI made their arrests on October 23rd, they specifically said the investigation did not involve college basketball. That turned out to be completely false. Within weeks, we learned that Shane Hennon and Marv's Fairley, both indicted in the NBA case, are allegedly behind a massive point shaving scandal in college basketball. The same
all this gambling like scandal news is gonna make like the integrity of basketball or just sports in general is gonna be so bad, bro. Because but every time when a player, it's crazy. Even now, you go on Twitter. Anytime a player plays bad, people on Twitter will be like, "Yo, FBI, investigate him immediately. He's playing like, bro." It's like you can't even trust when players actually play bad now because you don't know if they're betting on their unders or like man, the integrity of basketball is so gone now, bro. It's actually sad, man. I feel like the only way they can restore it is, like I said, they ban gambling.
Accounts that bet on Jonte Porter's unders, the same accounts that bet on Terry Rozier leaving games early, those accounts also place suspicious bets on college games at Eastern Michigan, Temple, New Orleans, North Carolina, AT&T, Mississippi Valley State, and Stony Brook. This wasn't two separate operations, this was one criminal enterprise targeting basketball at every level where they could find vulnerable people willing to sell information or fix games. And the NCAA just dropped a bombshell. 6 college basketball players from 3 different schools have been permanently banned for game fixing. And what happened at the University of New Orleans itself is absolutely insane, and it deserves its own video, but I'm gonna go into it briefly here for you guys. According to the NCAA investigation, a student athlete reported overhearing 3 players, Sidquavius Hunter, Daquavian Short, and Jamon Vincent,
Desquarius Green Jr.,
Ty Royal, Smoochie Wallace,
Yo, why are they talking like that, man?
Discussing a third party placing a bet for them on their December 28th game. But here's the part that kills me. During a timeout near the end of the game, Short allegedly told another player not to score any more points. And on the day of one of the fixed games, the three players were overheard discussing going shopping at Saks Fifth Avenue after they received their $5,000. The same pattern showed up at Mississippi Valley State. During an interview with the NCAA enforcement staff, a player said that before a December 21st game, he overheard teammate Donovan Sanders on the phone with an unknown third party talking about throwing the game. Sanders allegedly asked this player to participate in the scheme because the third party wanted confirmation that multiple players would be involved. This is organized, this is systematic, and it's happening to schools across the country. The NCAA has now confirmed they're investigating approximately 30 current and former men's basketball players. 30, and federal prosecutors from the Eastern District of Pennsylvania are conducting their own investigation, with FBI agents actively interviewing college athletes. Multiple sources told ESPN that they believe indictments are forthcoming. So think about what we're looking at here. At the professional level, you've got Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and who knows how many other unnamed co-conspirators. At the college level, you got at least 30 players under investigation at schools including Arizona State, Temple, Eastern Michigan, New Orleans, Mississippi Valley State, and more. And at the center of it all, you have the same gambling syndicate, the same people placing bets, the same criminal enterprises corrupting basketball from top to bottom. Now, I need to show you something that should terrify the NBA, because while all these court cases are playing out, the damage to the league's reputation is already done, and we have the numbers to prove it. According to this report from Quinnipiac University, 1/3 of Americans, which is 33%, now believe that NBA players and coaches are either very often or somewhat often involved in illegal activities to influence betting.
Well, like I said, it's already starting, bro. Like NBA, like NBA fans are already losing the trust in the game, man. It's already starting, bro. Like, and it's only gonna get worse from here, bro. Like, it's gonna go to a point where people are just gonna, like, honestly just stop believing in the NBA. I mean, it's already starting now. Like, it's just bad, man. Adam Silver can't really do, like, the only thing he can do is either he's gonna prioritize profit or prioritize the fans. And I think with the NBA, obviously, what him is doing, he's prioritizing profit over the fans. Like, honestly, bro, even if let's just say we stop watching the NBA today. Let's say we just stop watching the NBA, my nigga. Like, we just stop watching it. These niggas will still make money off of those sponsorships and brand and those contracts they have off of what, these sports media, all that shit. So, honestly, their priority is the profit over the fans. They don't really care what we think about the NBA. As long as we're making them money, that's all they give a fuck about. If we're not making them money, they just have the sponsorships they'll rely on and brand deals they got and all the contracts they have off of sports media and all that.
Games. So. Let that sink in for a second. 1 out of every 3 people watching an NBA game thinks there's a decent chance that what they're seeing isn't real, that the outcome might be influenced by gambling, that the players might not be trying their hardest because someone has money on the line. And it gets worse. 48% of Americans said they are not confident that NBA games are played fairly. That's basically a coin flip. Half the country looks at professional basketball and thinks, I'm not sure I can trust this because I think this is rigged. Now, let me give you a number that should keep Adam Silver up at night. When asked about their confidence in Silver's ability to prevent and catch players and coaches involved in illegal betting, only 45% of Americans expressed confidence, which means the majority of the country doesn't believe the commissioner can fix this. Among NBA fans specifically, it's basically a 50-50 split.
I mean, how can he fix it? I mean,
Silver to
he's gonna have to
handle
ban
this
gambling.
and half don't. That's the commissioner of a major professional sports league getting a vote of no confidence from half of his own fan base. But there's even more data that makes this even worse. 64% of Americans believe that the growth of legal sports betting has increased the amount of illegal activity by players and coaches. So almost 2/3 of the country is looking at this situation and is saying, yeah, legalizing sports gambling definitely made everything worse. And when asked about prop bets specifically, which is the kind of bets on individual player statistics that Terry Rozier allegedly manipulated, 2/3 of respondents said that prop bets should not be permitted at all. The public is connecting the dots. They understand that when you can bet on whether Terry Rozier scores over or under 13 points, you're creating an incentive for Terry Rozier to control that outcome, and they want it stopped. But here's the thing, the NBA can't stop it, not without giving up billions of dollars in gambling partnerships. DraftKings and FanDuel are official NBA partners. BetMGM, Fanatics, ESPN Bet, they're all authorized gaming operators for the league. Teams have betting shops inside their own arenas. The gambling money is baked into everything the NBA does now. You can't escape it, which reminds me, today's video is sponsored by Prize Picks. If you took my play from this past week,
oh, is he dead ass? Wait, he's dead ass? No, this nigga's gotta be joking. What the fuck, bro? This nigga just hit me with a gambling ad? What the fuck, Mike, bro? What are you doing, nigga? Nigga, we were just talking about
tonight.
Come on, bro. This nigga thought he was... This nigga thought he was slick, bro.
Thank you, Prize Picks, for sponsoring today's video. If you guys want to smack the fuck out of me, I don't blame you right now.
Nigga, like, why would you do that, bro?
Is currently
this nigga, man.
He can't ban prop bets without destroying relationships with his gambling partners. He can't ignore the scandal without losing public trust. And every day this story stays in the headlines, more fans start wondering if what they're watching is even real. A separate poll from Sacred Heart University found that 80% of sports bettors had heard about the NBA gambling scandal, and 79% said it damaged their trust in the integrity of NBA games, with nearly 40% said that it damaged their trust a lot. Even more concerning for the league, 75% of respondents believe that gambling misconduct is more widespread than what the current investigation suggests. 3 out of 4 people think this is just the tip of the iceberg. And you know what? Based on everything we learned, based on the college basketball connection, based on the unnamed co-conspirators, based on the FBI saying that more arrests are coming, those 75% are probably right. So with the public trust collapsing, what is Adam Silver doing about it? Well, that's a pretty good question. And this is the part that blows my mind the most, because I was really waiting for this moment, but when Congress called Adam Silver, he didn't show up. And I'm serious.
What, he didn't show up? Nah. I thought he went to that shit. Nah, this nigga, nah, that's how you know this nigga knows what's going on, bro. This nigga Adam Silver think he's slick, bro. Nigga, you skipped a Congress meeting. It's like getting called to the principal's office at school, my nigga, and you just skip it. Nigga, you know how trouble you're in? The fuck? Nigga, did he escape the government, nigga? Bro.
Earlier this month, the House Committee on Energy and Commerce and the Senate Commerce Committee both demanded answers from the NBA. They sent letters to Silver requesting briefings,
this nigga said, nah, I'm not. This
nigga
really said, nah, I'm not going. I'm good. I ain't going to that shit. Like, bro, Adam Silver.
Since 2020, communications with sportsbooks about suspicious betting activity, and a full explanation on why Terry Rozier was cleared by the NBA's internal investigation despite the FBI arresting him on federal charges. I mean, guys, you don't have to be a genius to tell that the commissioner of the NBA is scared. I mean, do you remember when Amazon Prime interviewed him in the middle of the game? Look at his response.
So what happened was, because bets were placed through legal betting companies, they picked up aberrational behavior around a particular game. We then looked into that situation. We frankly couldn't find anything.
Senator Ted Cruz and Senator Maria Cantwell, the chair and ranking member of the Senate Commerce Committee, didn't mince words. Their letter stated that this is a matter of congressional concern. The integrity of NBA games must be trustworthy and free from the influence of organized crime or gambling-related activity. Sports betting scandals like this one may lead the American public to assume that all sports are corrupt. They gave Silver a deadline of November 10th to provide written responses and all requested documents. So what happened on November 10th? We don't know yet. The NBA hasn't publicly released their response, but we do know what happened when the House Committee requested a briefing. Adam Silver didn't show up. Neither did Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum. Instead, the NBA sent staffers for a closed-door, hour-long session. That's it. No commissioner, no public testimony, just some league employees having a private conversation with congressional staffers. Mark Stein reported that Silver's absence was noted, and sources said if Congress isn't satisfied with the NBA's responses, Silver could be compelled to testify once the government gets its affairs in order. Now, the NBA's defense for why they couldn't catch Terry Rozier is very interesting. They basically said they don't have subpoena power. Unlike the FBI, they can't force people to turn over phone records or financial documents. They have to rely on voluntary cooperation. And look, that's technically true. But here's my problem with that excuse. When sportsbooks flagged suspicious betting activity on Terry Rozier in March of 2023, the NBA investigated. They talked to Rozier. By Silver's own admission,
you know what's also weird about it? I feel like Adam Silver was covering up for Terry Rozier, bro. Because keep in mind, bro, the NBA knew there was some suspicious happening during this game, and they still allowed this nigga to play. They didn't, like, bro, no. They knew about it. And it took for the FBI to expose them to now they're like, we didn't know at the time. Nigga, y'all niggas know. Come on, I'm sorry. Like, don't even try to hide, bro. Like, it just honestly makes me wonder with the whole, like, with the whole conspiracy about how Jordan retired because of his gambling problems. Like, the commissioner made him retire so that, because it would have been a bad look in the NBA if they knew that Michael Jordan was gambling. It's kind of similar like this, bro. Adam Silver's trying to cover up for this nigga. Let's be honest. He's covering up for him, bro.
Cooperated. He gave them his phone, he sat for interviews, and the NBA cleared him. And Silver even said this on Amazon Prime.
Terry at the time cooperated. He gave the league office his phone. He sat down for an interview, and we ultimately concluded that there was insufficient evidence despite that aberrational behavior to move forward.
But the FBI, looking at the same situation, found enough evidence for federal wire fraud and money laundering charges. So either the NBA's investigators are incompetent, or they chose not to dig deep enough, or they were looking for a reason to clear Rozier rather than a reason to punish him. Congress wants to know which one it was, and honestly, so do I. Because remember what we learned in our last video on this series? Brian Windhorst reported that the NBA knew about the suspicious Rozier betting activity the day it happened. Sportsbooks caught it in real time, and according to Windy, the NBA pulled Rozier from playing the rest of the season without publicly disclosing why. If that's true, the NBA knew that something was wrong. They just didn't want anyone else to know. I want to take a moment to talk about the Miami Heat because they might be the biggest victims in this entire situation who aren't facing criminal charges. The Miami Heat traded for Terry Rozier in February of 2024. They gave up Kyle Lowry and a first-round pick to get him. At the time, the NBA had already investigated Rozier and cleared him, so Miami had no reason to think anything was wrong. But now, Rozier is on indefinite leave. He can't play, and his $26 million salary still counts against Miami's cap. The Heat are
Bro, you know what's crazy? The Miami Heat still have to pay. They still have to pay him out, even though he's not playing for them no more. Like, it's crazy. Like, why does the Miami Heat gotta be like? Why they gotta? They should, like, if anything, they should reverse that trade. And the trade when they traded him to Miami, they should reverse it, bro. Because, bro, like, come on, this is not even fair, bro. Like, how the hell does? Why does Miami Heat gotta pay this nigga $26 million because and he's not even playing for them, bro? Like,
up against the luxury tax threshold. They can't sign replacement players. They can't make moves. They're just stuck paying for a guy who might never play for them again while he fights federal charges. And I hate to break it to you guys, as of right now, as I'm recording this video, the Miami Heat are the 4th seed in a very weak Eastern Conference. This is a team that could legitimately make noise in the Eastern Conference, and they're pretty much doing it with one hand tied behind their back. $26 million is a significant sum of money. That's a legitimate role player that this team could get. And here's the really messed up part. The NBA knew Rozier was under federal investigation and didn't tell the Heat before the trade. Miami made a major roster decision based on incomplete information because the league chose not to share what they knew. If Rozier ends up banned for life like Jonte Porter, the Heat could have a legitimate legal case against the NBA. They traded real assets for a player the NBA knew was under FBI investigation. That's not just unfair, that might be actionable. Meanwhile, the NBPA is fighting the league's decision to withhold Rozier's salary while he's on leave. They filed a grievance arguing that placing him on unpaid leave violates the collective bargaining agreement and the presumption of innocence. The union's argument is simple. Under the CBA, if a player is placed on administrative leave, they're supposed to continue receiving their salary. That's what the agreement says. But Silver froze Rozier's money immediately after after the indictment, which the NBPA says bypasses the due process built into the system. This is going to arbitration, and whatever the arbitrator decides will set a major precedent for how the NBA handles future gambling cases. If the union wins, players will continue getting paid even while facing federal charges. If the league wins, Silver's authority in gambling-related cases becomes nearly absolute. Either way, Rozier's $26 million is sitting in escrow, the Heat are in limbo, and nobody knows how this is gonna end. So where do we go from here? Let me lay out a timeline for what's coming, because this story is far from over. December 8th, 2025, that's when Terry Rozier is scheduled to be arraigned in Brooklyn. His attorney says he's pleading not guilty and has no interest in plea discussions. So Rozier is apparently ready to fight this all the way to trial. On September of 2026, Chauncey Billups' trial is scheduled to begin. That's 10 months from now. We could be watching a Hall of Fame NBA player stand trial on federal fraud and money laundering charges. But between now and then, a lot can change. If Marv's Fairley takes a plea deal and agrees to cooperate, prosecutors will have insider testimony about every aspect of this operation. Every text message, every payment, every tip that was sold. That kind of cooperation can turn a circumstantial case into an airtight one. We'll have all of that information available to us. And remember, there are still 9 unnamed co-conspirators in the federal indictment. 9 people who are involved in this scheme but haven't been publicly identified. Are they NBA players, coaches, team staff? We don't know. And FBI Director Kash Patel said more arrests are expected. By the way, Congress isn't done either. If lawmakers aren't satisfied with the NBA's written responses, Adam Silver could be called to testify publicly. Imagine the commissioner of the NBA sitting in front of cameras, under oath, being asked why he cleared Terry Rozier and allowed him to be traded while the FBI was building a case. That's the kind of moment that can change everything. Let me bring all this together because I think we're at a turning point in this story. 1 month ago, when this scandal first broke, we were shocked. An NBA Hall of Famer arrested for running rigged poker games with the mob, a current player arrested for faking injuries to help gamblers, a former player selling LeBron James's medical information for $2,500. It felt surreal. It felt like something out of a movie. But now we're seeing the machinery of justice start to move. Plea negotiations are happening. Defendants are calculating whether to fight or flip. The same gambling syndicate that corrupted the NBA has been connected to point shaving in college basketball. Public trust in the league is collapsing. Congress is demanding answers, and somewhere in some prosecutor's office, someone is building cases against people whose names we don't even know yet. The dominoes are just starting to fall. Chauncey Billups says he's not guilty. Terry Rozier says he's not guilty. Damon Jones says he's not guilty, but Marv's Fairley is in plea negotiations, and if he decides to tell prosecutors everything he knows, if he provides testimony about who gave him information and who took his money, some of those not guilty pleas might start looking very different. Here's what I keep coming back to. A third of Americans now believe NBA players and coaches are regularly involved in illegal betting. Half the country doesn't trust that games are played fairly. That's not a scandal anymore, that's an existential crisis. The NBA spent decades building itself into a global brand. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry, the greatest athletes in the world competing at the highest level, inspiring millions of fans. And now people are watching games wondering if it was all real. Adam Silver has to fix this, not with memos to teams, not with closed-door congressional briefings, not with carefully worded statements about taking allegations seriously. He needs to show the public that the NBA can police itself, that when players cheat, they get caught, that when games are compromised, there are consequences. Because right now, the only people catching cheaters are the FBI, and that's a huge problem. I'm gonna be following this story in depth. I know these videos are very freaking long because this story is very, very dense, and I want to simplify it for you guys as much as I possibly can because basketball is a sport I am very passionate about. It's given me my career, it's given me my life, and the fact that it could have all potentially been a sham personally really breaks my heart. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. If you aren't up to date with this series, I'm going to leave our previous videos on this topic in the end screen so you guys can be up to date. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
All right, y'all. W video by TheFlightMike, man. But yeah, man. It's not looking good for the NBA, man. A lot of gambling scandals, bro. It's just, man, what do you expect, bro? The NBA's been promoting gambling for the last how many years, man? I realized it back in, was it almost 5 years ago? 6 years ago? So, I mean, bro, stuff like this, you know, even though it's not wanted, it's expected. I mean, you can't really... The only way you can stop it is if you ban gambling. That's the only way. But yeah, besides that, man, that should be it for the video. Make sure y'all do the YouTube shit, like, comment, subscribe, follow my Twitch. You know, I'll be live streaming on there. And yeah, man, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace.